Good morning, my esteemed viewers. This is MB Media Friends. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, and do not subscribe, and do not forget to hit the notification bell. With me is the Tribune newspaper, and we are looking at the major headline. And the major headline says, "We have picked this day for Niger war, ECOWAS defense chiefs." We have another one that says, "Don't scrap Ministry of Niger data. Pandem wants Tinubu." There's another one here linking almost everybody in Sokoto State to Niger, saying every Sokoto person has a relation in Niger. Danfodo was born there. That's serious. There's another one that says, "We have become more vulnerable with fuel subsidy removal. Equity pensioners."
Thank you.
Then, okay, quickly, let me take you on the issue of palliative first. I'll come back to the Niger issue, but let me take you on the issue of palliative. Well, we understand that federal government have said they are giving 5 billion to each states. And the way they want to give it, according to information that came from, I think, Kwara state government, that 4 billion is cash. Then another 4 billion is coming in form of grain, maize from strategic reserve of federal government through CBN. Now, if you multiply 5 billion times 37, you are going to get 185 billion naira. The question is, if the federal government is not giving cash and they are giving grain, are you or the process of distribution will it be justified, or are we likely going to see another COVID-19 situation?
Good morning, viewers. Since the news broke few days ago, and it was announced that the federal government has mapped out 180 billion to share among all the 36 states, including the FCT, and possibly that each state will be able to have access to 5 billion. Now, my question is, there are some states in Nigeria that does not have much population in that regard. That one we studied. Lagos State, for instance, have over or close to 20 million Lagosians, and they are about to share 5 billion. How much will each Lagosian get? So you find out that the whole thing is being shielded in secrecy. We don't understand how this thing is actually going to have a direct effect on Nigerians and, of course, the masses itself. And if you put it down very well, you look at that. At the end of the day, it's possible that somebody that be, if you share it the way it's supposed to go, my brother, those women in the village that does not have a bank account, that does not have BVN, how will they benefit from this? So it's a cosmetic approach to economic issues. Instead of doing this thing repeatedly, we've seen this thing happen over and over again. Nigeria government keep on, rolling out what they call fraudulent palliatives. At the end of the day, it end up in private hands. 5 billion palliative, assuming it goes to Lagos, and Lagosians want to share that 5 billion. How much will each Lagosian get? How much would they be able to get up to 4,000 or 5,000 naira? Calculate it. So this is just a strategic, a clear, fraudulent, strategic way to share money among themselves. I am not having any reservation over this. This is pure fraud. Nobody should tell me anything about. These are the same people during COVID-19 when they came out, they said palliative, they have shared palliative. At the end of the day, they went and stocked thousands of bags of rice inside forest. They came out again. The same people, APC government, they came out again and they are talking about 180 billion. It's unfortunate. And I'm telling you that this is a well-tailored fraud. This is a money sharing policy for those who felt that they are in power, and it does not have a direct effect on the Nigerian masses. I believe that at this point in time, instead of share, okay, will Nigeria be able to use this money, assuming they get to everybody? Not everybody in Nigeria have a bank account. What of those women in the village?
No, they say they are sharing grace, not direct cash transfer.
They said if they are sharing grains, so I should just explain at what rate. You are sharing grains to farmers and you are going to give us 1 berika of rice. What is the meaning of all this? Okay, even if they are sharing bags of grains for each Nigeria, how long will that have a direct effect on us as we cushion the partner, the economic situation we are now? It does not have any significant effect. What I think they should do in this regard is to jettison all these fraudulent activities and focus on how to revitalize, reform, invest, build capacity when it comes in terms of reactivating or activating some of our refineries. These are the things we are looking at, not palliative. How long are Nigerians going to eat this palliative for 1 year, 2 years, or 6 months? And at the end of the day, we'll go back to square one. It's unfortunate that I think they have been telling him. I don't know what is actually the problem with this man. Is it old age? I think it's high time we begin to review some of these things. And unfortunately, it is still happening.
Now, Mr. Atinedu Market, talk to us about the preparedness or otherwise of ECOWAS defense chiefs. I
have said this several times on this platform. If you can remember, I've granted about 2 interviews based on the so-called Niger Republic military invasion by ECOWAS. It is condemnable. Military is no longer in fashion for now, but that notwithstanding, there is something going on in Africa that needs to be checked properly. And what is that? That is pure neo-colonization. And we have come to find out that civilian rule have found a way to collab, a kind of collab between them and these Western powers, and they have refused to see a possible direction on how to develop Africa. Bad government, bad civilian rule, and that is why you see the Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, they are opting for military intervention. Has France what is the interest of France in Niger? Is it not uranium? It's the uranium. That's their interest. Uranium is the scarcest material in the world currently now. And there's need for ECOWAS to be very careful unless they want to destabilize the entire Africa. And if they do that, it will bring about serious disunity among EU states, countries. And if they are raiding their force, for instance, as the paper Tribune has reported this morning, if they are raiding their force for a possible invasion, well, let the force be ready. Let it be ready. Maybe they are waiting for a possible order. Please, that order will not come. And I believe that order will not come because so many countries have opted for dialogue. They should be given time for them to transit to
now, Mr. Atinedu, let me marry this conversation with another one here that is saying every Sokoto person has a relation in Niger. Danfodio was born there. This is coming from a PDP chieftain. Now the question is, if Nigeria is having this interrelationship with Niger citizens, what does it work with them for Nigeria? Do you see danger?
A lot of danger. Nobody will be saved in Nigeria if this thing is being carried out, because the Niger Republic and of course the northern Nigeria will see that war as a direct war on them, and it will have a very disastrous effect, and of course on the entire Nigeria. Everybody, all the stakeholders in Nigeria, both outside, have been telling ECOWAS to toe the line of dialogue. And if they possibly go there and want to please the Western Europe, the consequences are there. The Niger Republic has already severe relationship with Nigeria. They have cut off electricity supply, and of course there are threats already, if that has not been done, of shutting down the forces that the dams that generate electricity for Nigeria. So the issue is this: ECOWAS should be very careful at this point in time, because Niger Republic is not alone. They should be given time. I know that a lot of people, experts, are saying that military rule is out of fashion, but that's understandable anyway. But at this point in time, I think they want to sit down and see how they are going to engineer the democracy in the Niger Republic by organizing and trying to move that to civil rule with possibly competent and capacity leaders who will be able to drive Niger to so far lost glory. So they should not be ECOWAS should not be burdened by the pressure coming from Western world because of certain interest there, which is basically on uranium. Of course, if you go to Niger, there's no uranium plant in Niger. The resources have been taken from Niger down to Western Europe, and it's unfortunate. This is what keep on happening over the years. And President Bassoum is an ally of these people. No citizen in Niger has benefited from the resources that is in Niger, and it calls for these guys to really sit down and really navigate and find a way how they can settle the issue of military coup especially in ECOWAS states. For now, there should be a way out. It's not nobody's supporting. Nigerians are not supporting. If you try it, the northern Nigeria will see it as a direct war on them, on its citizens. The insecurity in northern Nigeria is already out of hand, and we do not need any other insecurity, because the invasion, if there's any military invasion in Niger, is going to have a direct and indirect effect economically, socially, and otherwise, even politically, on northern Nigeria.
Now, Mr. Chinedu, let me bring you back home. And as I'm bringing you back home, I want you to address the issue of a threat against Tinubu himself from Palliative. Do you think Palliative has what it takes to warn the Jagaban of Africa? Because we understand that there is no ministry already assigned to Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, and that have risen speculation that it may be one of the ministries that is cracked. Do you think Palliative have what it takes to send warning to the president against not assigning a minister to Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs?
It calls for a serious cautioning. It's something that we have come to understand that for some time now. There has been serious allegations of fraud happening in NDDC, and up till now, nothing has actually come out of it. Well, I still believe, for the interest of peace in that region, that the federal government should do something positive about the issue of NDDC, possibly appoint a minister in that regard. But before that is being done, I would advise that the Palliative should also try to put their house in order, because ever since this NDDC came, we have not seen any direct effect of most of the money and billions that have been allocated to them having a direct effect on oil-bearing communities. I'm telling you, you understand?
The question I would want to ask again is, could this erupt another round of hostility from the militants who started before now wreak havoc on oil, critical oil infrastructures?
It is a question of stakeholders in that region. Yes.
I'm sure you know the terrain very well.
Yes. Because I was once taken from MP Ewari to Baramatu. I was on a speedboat for over 3 to 4 hours on top of high sea. When the then Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, visited, I was there. From there, we went to Tombolo's house. We sat down there. So I experienced a lot of things because I was in the same boat with the then Joint Youth National Council leader. We were in the same boat. We interacted from when we get to that place and when we are going back. So I was taken to so many places, and I can tell you, that area is totally devastated. There's no doubt about that. The Nigerian government has been so wicked. What they want is oil. That place is totally being destroyed. As I'm telling you, we have over 500,000 pipelines in Niger Delta, and these things are going on daily basis, and still there is no significant project, purpose, plan on how to, help go to those communities. Most of them are living on platforms, and maybe in a distance of less than 10 meters or so, you see an oil drilling rig. You understand? Here and there, and these guys are living on those platforms with their canoe and everything, moving from one place to another. There's no sign of life. But I thank God that somebody, the area we visited in Baramatu as at then, Tombolo was able to create a life in that community. Yes, I say it, and I give credit to Governor Tombolo for doing that. You see a sign of life as the place where we went to Baramatu. There's no how you can connect electricity to that place. So the generator that powers the Baramatu kingdom was being mounted inside a forest. That's to tell you how bad government have neglected those areas. So on this regard, I'm insisting that NDDC should not be scrapped, one, by the federal government, two, the Ministry of Niger Delta. Yes. Secondly, they should look for a competent hand from that area that will head that commission, so that to bring about a direct positive effect to the people of Niger Delta, of course, and other oil bearing communities.
In the event that the federal government under Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu did not heed this warning and did not give ministerial appointment, did not assign any minister to that ministry, what do you think it will portend for our economy?
Because the ministry is still there, but what the problem the problem is that there is no minister that has been designated to that ministry yet. I think that there's a negotiation going on the ground on how to, because the ministry has been involved in fraudulent, activities. I remember the last senior president was once also the chairman of that the chairman also of that ministry also. I can't remember, but one of them was also there. At the end of the day, there was allegations of fraud and all that. So what I'm saying is that instead of causing more havoc the already existing one in the Niger Delta in that regard. The stakeholders like the pandemic should sit down and bring and appoint a competent, very important, a competent son from the Niger Delta that will head that ministry, so that it will have a direct effect on the people in that regard. The expectation we do not believe that it should be scrapped no, we don't believe that. At least they should sit down and know what to do. They know what to do, and if they fail to do that, then they definitely they should they know what will happen.
So, Mr. Chinedu, I think that is a good place to let it go.
Thank you.
You have done justice to almost all the areas. Once again, thank you for coming. Thank you.
You want to take the money for Niger Delta. You want to scam the minister. Why would you scam the minister? No, why would you scam the minister? The minister has been helping. Go to any state, you see roads, they don't job by any go to any state that is under that